So you need 2 socks. One sock for the body, one sock for the sleeves. You'll be using both sides of each sock, so try not to waste anything. Now, we're going to take our doll, and you're going to figure out how much you need. So, here is my doll. This is going to be the front part of the sweater. I'm going to cut off here, and that will become the new shoulders. And so I want to get the whole picture of CL, so I'm going to stop it right about here, and then we're going to save the toe and save this part, the ankle part. The heel, we're going to have to cut off right here. This also says Black Butler on the back, so the back of his shirt is going to say Black Butler. If you have another sock that's a plain sock, you can have plain for the back, but I just want to use one sock. So here we go. Now we're going to do our sleeve. Okay, cut. This one, it was pressed differently than the other sock. If you notice, the other one was pressed this way. So, but this sock, since I'm using for the sleeve, I'm only going to use this piece right here. So it doesn't matter if I have it pressed the other way. It's just that's the way they came in this package. Different brand, different sock. So I'm just going to follow this line right here where the color is. Color it right. It goes straight imaginary line right along here. Cut it. Good. Smooth out the toe. Kind of a little bit. Imaginary line. If you want, you can use the board. Cut along your line to get as straight as you can. There we go. And then I'm going to just cut along these press lines. Just make sure you get in there. Take the other side. There we go. Now we have a left sleeve and a right sleeve, a front and a back. Save your ends. You're going to be needing these for trim. So just put those aside for now. Right now, we're going to take the front or back and kind of lay them out so you get an idea. Make sure the right side of the sock is all pointing up. There you go. So this will be our head. This is sleeves, back and back. Okay. Now you're going to take your doll. Look at how big this slot is here that you need room for the shoulder. You're going to want a little room for the seam to go in there. Maybe a little bit extra room because the hands are always a little bit wider. And with the fingers bent and stuff, if you have a lot of material like this on the inside, it looks raw and it gets stuck on the fingers as it goes through. That's one of the reasons I like doing a solid color for the sleeve. Sometimes it looks really cool when you use these ones and you have, say, Black Butler down the side of a sleeve, but like I said, you're going to be fighting with these every single time you take it and put it on and off. So line up your doll, see how wide. His is about 1 inch. You figure you're going to roll around this way. So kind of line up your material. That's right there, it says neckline. Well, you're going to have a little circle here for the neck. And then right here, probably about the top of CL's ear. So I'm going to line them up on both sides. Move them away. I'm going to take the other piece, lay them on. If you're scared that you can't keep them straight because they're kind of curly, you could have done this before you cut it, or else you can pin them together. I'm not really that scared. I've done a lot of stuff. So I'm going to go to the top of CL's ear here. Go in just a little bit, not a lot, just so I can make a little definition, and then come up, make like a J. Make sure it's on both sides. Good. And see, I only went in about what? This way. About 3 centimeters, not deep at all. Do the same thing on the other side. Line up the edges, unfold them if they're rolled up. Top of his ear, go in, curve, go up, There you go. You have another J. Now we need to do around the neck here, so bring your doll back in. Put this on the shoulders. See? Bring it up a little bit. You want the top of it to touch this shoulder line right here. Just like when you're wearing regular clothes. See this part right here? It's going to be in the way. So figure how deep you want to go. I want to go just about there. So I'm going to take my scissors, line up the edges. You can mark it with a pencil or something if you need to. Do each one separately. The key is though to make sure that they're both the same. Okay, there we go. You can fold it over, make sure the shoulder's on top, same width. If you have a little bit extra, make sure just these sides on the outside are lined up. It's got a little bit, you can give it a little cut there, make them the same. You now have a basic t-shirt shape to go on him. So now we're going to put the doll off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew these top two parts together. Now I have my needle and my thread. I've tied a knot on the end. I have it going through, it's double threaded. Take your shirt, put it right side to right side. This way your seams, when you sew them, will be on the inside. When you flip it over, you won't see all that. So now you're going to take it with my first one, because there's always going to be a little bit of string left over. I like to go through here, right in the middle, so if this little piece is sticking out, you won't see it no matter what. Go through your piece and lock it into there. Now it's nice and secure. And just sew along the side, straight over. You want to do a whip stitch, I believe it's called. Now hand sewing is not my favorite form of sewing. I prefer the machine. When I sew with this kind of stuff on the machine, I find that it ends up being a little hard because it's stretchy material, and I end up with a really wide seam that kind of stretches out this way as sewing machine goes. I'm sure there's a special foot, a special something you're supposed to do to keep it from doing that. Maybe tack it to some freezer paper. That would probably keep it from stretching, and then just rip off the freezer paper, but I just don't feel like dealing with that, and hand sewing for this works just fine. You end up being able to control it a little bit more. Now once you've hand sewn it, you could always go through it with the regular sewing machine to secure your stitches for an extra safety precaution. You don't need to, but you can. You want to go across at least 2 times to get everything all nice and locked in. So went there, went back, went there, went back, so that made 2 on this side. When I came this way, I went back over here and back, so it's actually 3 on that side. So we should be good. Pull it through, knot off your stitch. Take your end, pull it through, because if you don't pull it through and you don't leave enough space at the end, it'll just come unraveled when you pull it and stretch it. It's nice and secure. Do the same thing to the other side. So now we got both shoulders sewed. You open it up, that's where your head's gonna go. This will stretch for now. If you want to, you can try it on. Just move the camera. It'll go over the head. If it doesn't go over the head, then you can always take off the head depending on what kind of doll you have. Goes right on. See, the bottom of your J is going to hook together down here and be sewed. Now if you want to do a tank top, that's all you need to do. Take your sides over, bring them here, sew them straight down here and straight down here. Make sure you do it while it's inside out. Go along the edge here and either pull this under or go straight over it, and then it'd be finished seam, and then along the bottom you got a tank top. I want to put sleeves on it, so I'm going to take these ones and I'm going to sew it onto here. So let's take it off the doll and then I'll show you how to do that part. So now make sure you have your long piece. It's going to go long. You're going to put it the right side facing down, right side down. So figure out which side you want to be the outside piece. I think this side's a little bit more shiny. It's probably the same, just me. I'm going to put it here. Find the exact middle. Fold it in half. Figure out where's the middle. Right there. I'm going to line it up with that seam that I just did right there. Put it on top. See how it comes out to the J like this? I'm going to put a stitch here to secure it in. You could use straight needles if you want to, or straight pins. I just give it a little secure stitch here. Make sure you lock your stitch in place. Oops. And then I go down one side. You're going to want to have this to the end of this J. So grab your piece, put it to the end of the J, stretch it out. Makes it nice and stretchy along there. This is going to make it wide enough so you can fit your fingers through. Make sure you hold that width out. Grab it, get your needle, and just do a whip stitch straight down it. Careful of the underside of your nail. Believe me, if you're not used to doing this, or if you're not used to actually sewing by hands or any other way, and you don't have the calluses on your fingers, you're going to hurt yourself. Grab it, re-stretch it to the edge, figure out where you want. There you go. Just work your way down nice and easy. Now the great thing about the whip stitch is that it'll kind of bunch up, and that's okay because you can just grab it and open it up a little bit, and it has a little bit of give. You can just go, whoop, see, and then it's open again. So never close off on these until you've pulled it open again, because it's going to gather. Now this is a little hard to see with the black side up. I think I'll do the other one with the gray side up. There we go. Pull your thing out. Tie it off. Remember, we're going to go over twice, but this was just secured in place to make it easier to handle. Tie it off. Go through, slide it through, give yourself a little girth, nip, pull it open, it hides right inside there. Now we're going to put the other part. We're going to sew this one to this one. So grab the ends, open it up, and we're going to sew it. Be right back. Thought maybe we could use a little bit more light. Grab your ends, pull it, hold it. My seam not that straight. That's okay. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do a slip stitch just above these right here, so that when you fold it over you'll see a nice straight line like that. I'm going to wait and do that after I get this other sleeve on. So I'm going to do this other sleeve the exact same way, and then I'll go through and I'll show you how to do the slip on there. I'll do it here too so you don't see any puckering here. Well, this one doesn't look like I need it. I did pretty good getting that straight. So I'll just do it right along this. So now we got our side sewn on. We hold it out. Looks like a cross. Sleeves, front, back. This side is raw. These are raw. If you fold it over, makes a sweater. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go along the inside seams like I told you and make them nice and even. If your stitches are nice and even, you don't have to worry about this. If they're a little bumpy, you can do it. If they're not bumpy, it's all up to you. So take your needle and thread, turn this right side to right side, start at the end, you gotta secure your stitch. Now you're just gonna weave in and out, tiny. Now it's hard to see on this black side. I should have done the other side. And you're just going to go in and out, in and out. You want to make sure that all your things are on this side, towards the inside, That way any stitches on the other side won't be seen. Keep going. If you end up filling up your needle, just slide it through. See how this kind of gathered here? Because, oops, got stuck. It's okay. Just pull it through. There we go. Straighten it out. Go over here. Weave. Weave. Pull through. Straighten it out. See, it makes a nice straight seam. Oops, turn with the light. This is my first video, so sorry about trying to figure out how to set things up right. There we go. See, nice straight seam. Straighter than it was. Pull it through, lock your stitch in. Oops, didn't get the second side of that. Pull through and try again. Kind of lost my stitch there. Let's see. Go back through again. It's okay if it takes you a couple times to tie off your stitch. Just means you have more stitch in. Okay, there we go. Now I can get it. Go through. Give yourself a little room. Open it. See? Makes it all nice and neat. If you need to do it to the other sides, yeah, that's a little gap right in there. You can do it there to make it evener. And you fold it over. Looks nice. Compare to that side so you can see the little puckers. This side's nice and smooth. So let's do it to this side. Make a slit down here about, well, let's say about ½ inch. Bring this all the way around without stretching it, and come here. And that stretch here is going to be what I use to get it over his head. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to anchor it. Find the end of your string. There we go. There it goes. Open up your thing. Open, there it is. Okay, so this is now anchored down. So now we're just gonna put this next to it. Okay, it's not anchored down. There's the problem. There we go. Okay. So now you're just gonna go around. Don't stretch it. Just do it regular. Whip stitch. See, sometimes this gets stuck. You're gonna want to hold it back. Ends up being a little bit manipulated. You have to manipulate it a little bit. It likes to be a little difficult. Just go around. Okay, so I just finished sewing this and it died. My camera died, the battery ran out. Didn't show me it was low, but that's okay. So I just did a zigzag up and down so it'll have a nice even seam. Anchored it a few times. Gonna tie it off. Pull it through, slide the knot down. Give it a little bit of space, girth, whatever you want to say. And I can put my scissors. Where'd I go? Oh, here they are. Cut. So turn it inside out. And this is what we got. So this is what we got so far. Now Now the next thing we're going to do on our little sweater is we're going to sew the end on here. Now you can either sew it under, depending on what you got, or you can take another piece of your ending right here. I cut it in half, exactly where it's folded. Cut it in half again. And since it came from the socks, it's going to be the same width as the socks. So here, ta-da! So you gotta put it right side to right side. You're going to get your string. Make sure it's long enough. This will not be long enough, so I need a longer piece of string. Okay, so I sewed that, pull it over, got the line going right there. So now we go here, turn it over, make sure it still looks like a sweater. See? Sweater shape! Yay! Okay, now we're going to turn it inside out. Go this way. Make it sweater shape again. You can use straight pins if you want to. We're going to sew. We're going to sew along here. Straight down. All the way down to the end there. So just go straight along this whole thing. And then your side's going to be closed. Make sure everything you want to do in the inside area is done. Because once it's sewed up, it is very hard. Once it's all sewed up, it's going to be hard. While it's open like this, it's easy if you want to put embellishments in, whatever. Otherwise, turn it right side, make it sweater shape, and you're going to sew right in here. Make sure it's unrolled. If you need to, put straight pins in it. So let me get my needle. Right there. Put in there. Okay, sewn this side down. Nice and L shape. Now we're going to do this side. Same thing. Fold over, make sure it's straight. Line it up. I like to do it a little bit down. Remember, you gotta do each side twice. So up once and down. It may take more than, oops, technical difficulties. It may take more than one piece of string. So all the way down, all the way till you get to the very tip down here, and all the way back up, back to this tip. Okay, so now we have two choices. Two choices once again. You can just sew along the edge and have like this curliness going, or you can take a piece of this sock, sew it along the edge, and you'll have the same kind of thing you did up here. So go ahead, and we're going to flip this right side in, right side out, whatever. Grab your sleeves. Oh, it looks so cute. Almost done with the sewing. Okay. That's what it looks like so far. Ooh. We need batteries in my light. Not too bright anymore. See, this is what it looks like. You can leave the seam raw. You can just sew over the edge and let it curl if you want to. Me, I'm going to go and add this on so it'll look like this up here, like all these nice finished edges. It's not going to be elasticy, but it's fine because it's wide enough to go over the head, which is the biggest part of all my dolls. So I got to choose, do I want black or do I want the gray? This gray, it looks pretty much the same. But since I have black here, I want to make it parallel and I'm going to do black on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part and I'm going to cut straight across here. This is the toe. And I'm going to go right here and cut. And see how here, or see right here? Kind of get a V. going to take this, kind of give it a little bit of straighterness. Now I'm going to sew this to this. And then I'm going to fold this and sew that. Okay? So we want to do it like this. Right side to right side. Now if I put it this way and I fold it, uh-oh, my little toe little stuff, right that little line is going to stick out. So make sure when you put it over, just go over it like this. Make sure that little line for the toe, right there, little line right there, I know it's hard to see, is sticking out towards you. We're going to sew along the bottom here, and then our second stitch we're going to flip it over, sew here, and then see, it'll flip down like that. So just put it around it, roll it out to the edge, put it around the whole thing, take your needle and thread and sew it. Okay, so we're just going to do a whip stitch all the way around, line it up, take these little ends where they're a little pointed, put them on the side, line up with the stitch you made right along here, whip along all the way, or whip stitch along the edge. Make sure it's unrolled. You got a nice flat there. Slide through. Redo it, and you're going to remember, you're going to fold this over and sew along this edge so when you flip it, hello. So I'm trying with the thing underneath it. Still not very good light. My light's dying. Sorry about that. So we're going to take this bottom piece, flip it up, and we're going to sew it to that. So start on the corner, kind of line up your end. Make sure you lock it in place. This will be like your second time around. If you want to, you can do a third. Just kind of lock everything in place. It's up to you though. I'm not sure if I will or not yet. I'm going to see how it looks. So. Flip it over. See right here? You got that little see-through part. That's because I didn't sew down far enough. See that? That gap. That one gap. And that whole thing. A little bit there too. You take the side with the eye. Kind of push it down. And then put a stitch in there. Make sure you pull it on this side. Oops. But first make sure your string is tied. Tie your string in, lock it in. Flip it. Now we'll put on the eye hook. So you get some eye hooks. Figure out if you want a white one or a black one based on your material. I'm going to use a black one. So I'm going to just poke it out. So there's the eye and hook. I'm only going to use the hook. I don't want the eye. Now, I've never been good at sewing these on, so I'm going to try though. I'm going to sew this on the inside part in here. Make sure it's covered up by here. and then I will come back and show you right now. Okay, I know it's a little hard to see, but the hook is in there, right there. So now I gotta put it on the doll, and I'm gonna make a little eye for it to hook onto. I gotta see how close I want it. So bring your doll over, put it on your doll. You can put it all the way on, you can just put it on the head. Helps if you take a silicone cap off so it doesn't stick to that. This is the time, if it doesn't fit over the head, you might have to cut longer here. Like him, he's such a fat head. Nope, let's do this. Take off that. See? This is the hook system he has. And it's just straight onto the elastic there. So it's a pain in the butt. Take it off. There's no way to twist it and slide it through the hole. It'd make my life so much easier if he did have it. He's one of the doll gods from DOD. Just put it on him. It's kind of hard to put the camera in the way, so I'm going to turn it off and show you what's on it. So now, we're going to take the floss, and then you're going to find your mark. You want to make sure it's loose. You don't want it to be tight down. We're not trying to embroider. We're trying to make a thing for Duddy hook to go. Make sure you can hook it on. Slides. There we go. Had to open up the hook a little bit, it was too tight. Goes right in there. Looks good in the front, or do I need to do it tighter? I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to take the end, unhook, and tie it off. This was my first video. I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope to make more in the future. Let me know what you thought. Leave a message, like, and subscribe.